So a client of mine who was applying to college recently saw this TikTok, right? And it was talking about this strategy that was actually super simple. Goes something like this. Take an item from your desk and start writing about that, whether you use it as an analogy or for anything else. And, I kind of understand the logic behind this because it did help some students get accepted into top schools like Harvard, Princeton, Duke, Cornell, and UC Berkeley. But here's the thing, I would never do this. Why? Well, what if I'm a degen? I'm serious, bro. I came across clients who are like, I love matcha and I have a whisk near my desk, or I gotta hit them protein goals, so I always got them protein, or I'm into baseball, so I have a glove mitt on my desk. Like people are just so normal and functioning. Like, just write something about on, just write about something on your desk, bro. How do you even find cool stuff to write about when everything demonstrates you're a degen? I open up about my hobbies and everyone thinks I'm gonna be like a freaking psycho or something. So, like, like, like personally for me, I feel like it's hard for me to give this advice to people because I would personally have such a hard time doing this, right? Like, like you know how people in like freshman orientation are like trying to introduce themselves and like show how normal they are? Like that's how I'd be, right? Like I'd be like, "Oh yeah, bro. I'm bagpipe. I like reading. I like listening to music. Yeah." Like, what if I'm an astrology girly, Like, the ones who have like their desks filled with like pink rock salt and shit, like those maps where they're like, "Oh my god, what's that on your star chart? Does that mean you're an Aries moon rising?" Like whatever the fuck that means. Like, bruh, what would I, Bagpipe, the one-stop shop for college app slop, even write myself? I can't be sharing the most personal shit on my desk. The hell am I going to talk about? My VTuber merch? I'm about to get eaten alive. So now what do? Can't show you're a degen, but then you also can't be banal and surface level because, ideas aren't deep enough, right? You know what I think the solution is? Yeah, yeah. You want to know? I think it's a compromise. You got to be willing to have a little bit of normie, but also be open enough to be a little bit of degen. That's how it goes. Because, like, in life, people can't force you to be vulnerable and open, like in the get go, right? You think people could just be like, "Oh my God, why can't you just open up more and tell me about yourself?" Like, no, I'm too freaking weird. That's why. But look, listen. I actually think talking about an object in your desk is okay if you're willing to be vulnerable, at least a little. I ain't asking you to talk about your VTuber merch or your 10,000 page Fujoshi fanfiction. Like, it's asking too much out of people, man. But, there's a really cool thing you can do. You just got to be really real and organic about your topic in a way that admissions officers could understand on a personal level as well. That's it. Topic could be a little weird. And, like, I actually think that's fine. Sometimes it's good. But just about every topic has something in it that every outsider can understand and empathize with on a personal level. Like, like take like video games, for example, right? I know a lot of people who dead ass don't play video games anymore because their classes are too long or, their parents wanted them to grow up and shit, right? But I think I speak for, you know, I think I speak for everyone when I say that even though we don't game anymore, that video games still hold a super special place in our hearts. Like we'd still want to hold on to some of our controllers or other gaming memorabilia, right? Like, I know I would. And I think you can leverage that feeling and nostalgia that everyone feels since, we all got that one thing that makes us feel that way. That one very personal thing from our childhood that even though we quote unquote grew out of, we still remember it like it was yesterday. It's a useful emotion to bring relatability to your essay, my man. Actually, let me just show you an example, all right? I'm just like disclaimer, I'm gonna be pulling this shit out of my ass, okay? So like this is like literally just written in a couple minutes. It's on the spot, so not exactly perfect, okay? But you get the idea, right? I'm just trying to show you in principle. So here it goes. There's a thin layer of dust on my Nintendo Switch. If I run a finger across it, it'll probably leave a clear trail behind while a bundled coat of dust accumulates on my finger. It's strange. I don't really play games anymore. In fact, I don't even touch my console. But every week when I clean my room, I sometimes forget to clean the Switch too. It's not that it's hard to see or anything, Besides, the bright red and blue stands out in the pale beige and brown I chose to decorate my room in. It's just that it blends in with the rest of the room in that way things do when you stop paying attention to them for too long. And that hurts. It hurts to see the hobby that has always stuck by me slowly atrophy and fade into the corner of my periphery. My mother certainly likes it, that's for sure. She was concerned games would take away from school. However, I feel like my learning journey, and well, my journey through life at that, would be incomplete without giving games the credit they're due. Yeah, maybe old games like Angry Birds ended up a waste of time for people, but I'd be lying if I said that games didn't get me thinking about the most optimal trajectory to catapult objects. Well, what would be the best strategy? Oh, look at that, a Wikipedia article. Let's see. A few rabbit holes later, and suddenly I have a newfound appreciation for physics. Bloons Tower Defense. Who'd have thought a game about monkeys popping balloons would have me calculating the ROI of balloon popping efficiency? Elden Ring. I can't count how many times I've lost to impossibly challenging boss fights, but the environment, armor, and lore certainly got me interested in medieval history and armor. I wouldn't have expected to enjoy historical museums as much as I do now without the game without that game, infuriatingly hard as it is. I've thought about games for a long time now. It's a very strange feeling. I don't feel entirely positive about it. After all, I recognize that they have dangers that they pose to productivity. Yet, games held a special place in my heart because they've nurtured a kind of creativity in me that I don't think would be possible otherwise. That's life, no? It's complicated, and it's not as easy as black and white. It's a cacophony of mixed emotions that makes us feel joy yet hesitation, nostalgia yet boredom, something yet nothing? Even now, I feel like I've lost the ability to enjoy games, to just live in the moment. It reminds me of how we talk about our first romantic crushes during our childhood. It's silly, funny even. We speak of those moments in jest, yet there's a mysterious yearning, impractical, irrational, and immature as it may be, for that butterflies in our stomach feeling that we first had. I'll be frank, I believe the light for games has faded from my eyes. I sometimes reach for my console, but the passion I used to have always seems to escape my grasp. Partially, it may be my fault for devoting everything to computer science. Yet, I haven't forgotten about games. In some ways, this feels like a thank you letter. In other ways, it feels like a goodbye. I don't think I'm quite smart enough to know these complicated feelings in their entirety. I still have much to learn. I'll enjoy the next few years. That's what gaming taught me. To enjoy the moment. I hope that in the coming years, whoever I may meet at university, they'll do the same. Give that old game console, stuffed animal, or weird love letter a good dusting off. They deserve it. We deserve it. Oh, yeah, don't forget, stuff like this is a really cool way to show admissions officers your personality and like your philosophy, right? You don't want to like tell them, right? Like just like tell them really directly. You just want to just show them through implication. We know this fictitious person I made up is orderly and cleanly, but they're not exactly perfect, right? We know they're a curious person who finds themselves researching topics and falling in love with them. We know they're comfortable enough with themselves to admit that there are things that are both good and bad and can admit that. We know that they really care about giving the past the due diligence of respect that it deserves. But, there's probably other shit you can write and weave in too, right? So you just got to take your time with it. Also, here's the other big thing. I think at the end of the day, while we may individually be interested in weird or cringy things, deep down, we're more similar than we think. Even if someone isn't a gamer, they can likely relate to the feeling of having a hobby that's atrophied over time but still holds a soft spot in their heart. I think the big thing is really just being organic, natural, and connecting to your admissions officers in a way that doesn't make you sound like you're holding back your personal side, right? Or just have closed walls and talk about the banal stuff because you don't want to take the risk, and you want to play it super safe when you're going for that sweet business school investment banking private equity syrup. I don't know. Do what you want. I'm just an anime character on the internet. But if you are looking for anything like college admissions consulting or advising from said anime character on the internet, that probably makes you a stinky, filthy, degen goober, which is a good thing because I am too. Nonetheless, feel free to reach out via email in the description box below if you do need help. Yeah, that's about it. See ya.